Welcome back. This is Pyrodin. Today we have finally got a couple of materials I've been waiting to come in, namely of which, Worbla. Fun stuff. It's a thermoplastic. Use a heat gun when you're doing it. But what we're going to do for today's project is very simple. Today we're going to do the back half of the shell for the helmet. So what we're going to start out with, this is actually a ruler that I made using scraps left over from this little guy. So, since the back half of the shell comes back to about the midway point on the back of the helmet, we're just going to go ahead and get a quick measurement there. It's coming out to 8 inches. So, using our flat edge, we're just going to trace out the 8-inch. Go ahead and mark the midpoint here with just a little dash. And it's going to come to about the midpoint of the top of the helmet. So from there, it's about another 8 inches. By the way, this white material you see me using is just normal craft foam. You can get it at any craft store. I mean any craft store. They have these things like 99 cents a sheet. Alright, so we've got our 8-inch mark there. Notice how it's going straight up and down. That is perfectly fine. Everything's going to curve and look awesome by the time we are done. Now, one thing I probably should have done, since it's got more of a pronounced... Yeah, I can still make that work. Alright, so now, for the top part, we need to go ahead and cross it over here. And since the shell actually comes down all the way, we're going to come down all the way. So that's about 14 inches. So we just get this centered up here. Seven on that side. And 7 on that side. Alright, so going back to our drawing, the actual helmet itself, it's not completely flat on this top edge. Basically, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting it a little differently. That way this will curve back and connect. So I will go ahead and get that marked out, get that cut, and I will be right back. Alright, so here I've gone ahead and cut out the actual shape of the foam that I'm going to be using. You can see it's already a little bit into shape. Used a little bit of Scotch tape in order to hold it together. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to heat up some Worbla, which is going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to coat this in the Worbla. I will be right back. Okay, so we've got the piece wrapped up in the Worbla now. As you can see, it molds very well to whatever it's surrounded by. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to trim out the excess, and here's the awesome thing about Worbla. Even the scraps can be used to make something cool. So we'll come back to that here in just a few minutes. For now, I'm going to go ahead and get this cut out, and we'll be right back. The edges wrapped nicely now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of heat to the back part. Make sure I get the underside as well. And we're just going to go ahead and gently mold it. A little bit of an air bubble in there, but not anything too terrible. I can work that out. One thing you can do to deal with air bubbles, just a little pin, puncture the Worbla, and then just squeeze and just rub over where you made your hole. That way the Worbla seals itself right back up. Alright, so I'm going to do this same technique on these two edges here, and then I'll show you how to fill in the seam so that you have no seam. I'll be right back. So I told you guys that you could fill in the gaps on your warbler play by adding in little tiny strips of extra warbler, which, as you can see here, I have done this. So what I'm going to do now to kind of fill those gaps in, I'm going to heat up just that strip of warbler in the surrounding area. And just going to smooth it out with my fingers. There we go. Now once everything has hardened and cooled off, then you can go back in and you can start doing your detail work. For now, I'm going to cut this video off here and we'll pick up next week. Thank you for watching, and as always, you can check out the books by simply following the links in the description below. Again, my name is Pyrodin, and it's been awesome working with you. See you soon.